Hi everyone, I'm Kim and I'm here with Juji, Taris, Lee, and Shira. We are five friends, speakers, and professionals from different cultures, backgrounds, and age groups coming together to offer healing and inspiration. The topic today, food. Who else is emotional eating? Lee, Taris, tell me about your emotional eating journey because I'm certainly on it myself.
Well, I gotta say, actually, for me, it's emotional snacking. I'm a snacker, and I find myself just snacking a lot more than usual. So as far my eating is still pretty much on target. I'm good with that. I have a lot of salads. I have a ton of vegetables. That's the most of what I'm buying, and some proteins, some lean proteins, organic, grass-fed, whatever, all the stuff I love to eat, but I'm a huge snacker. So I need my chips, my crackers, my chocolate.
But are you snacking because you're stressed and it's like a nervous reaction to all of this uncertainty?
Most likely, yeah. I think in general I do that when I am emotional. And sometimes actually when I'm very emotional or stressed out, I shut down. My eating shuts down. I don't eat much, but I've been eating normally, but I've been snacking a lot.
Do you actually stop yourself? Like, do you go, all right, does it like enough?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
Like I'll have some, like I'll put some stuff in a cup rather than take the whole bag. And I will sometimes refill 2 or 3 times, but it's still better than taking the bag.
I guess as long as you have the awareness, like that's the key.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so aware right now that I'm emotionally eating and I'm just eating more meals than normal, more snacks than normal. And I know it's because somewhere in my subconscious, I am stressed out. I am feeling so uncomfortable with all of this uncertainty. You guys know I was supposed to move. That's been put on hold. I'm moving back into my mother's house. That is something that I never thought at 44 that I would be doing. I hate even saying that out loud.
Yeah.
it is.
But we have to do what we have to do. But I'm very aware of the emotional eating. So I am trying to do, little healthy things all in and around between the emotional eating.
It's interesting because I'm trying to conserve, I guess, because I don't want to go to the supermarket a lot. So I've been mapping out like 2 meals a day. Like I'm not doing emotional eating. I guess that's just never been who I am. My dad was always like, Jack LaLanne and no snacks and no this and all that. Not that I don't snack. I totally do. But I've been like eating 2 meals a day and maybe a snack here and there. But I've been pretty rigid about it, more so than I ever have. So I've almost gone in like the other direction in a weird kind of way.
Maybe do you think that has anything to do with feeling some sort of control in these uncontrollable times? Because I know sometimes the first thing I do is go on a diet or fix my diet to some degree because I feel like it's the only control I have in those
You know
moments.
what it is for me? My whole schedule is so off. Like I'm working from home now, so I'm not getting up earlier and doing stuff in the morning. I'm like getting up, having a meeting, and then making myself something to eat at like 10 or 11 o'clock. So when I have the 2 meals a day, that actually feels better for me, and maybe some nuts in the afternoon. But my whole schedule is off, so I'm kind of taking advantage of that. And it's keeping me in a better place. And I think that I'm thinking ahead, like, oh my God, if we have to hunker down like this and I let myself go, maybe it is some form of control, but if I can do this and keep this a good habit, then when this is all over, because if I didn't and I let myself go, it would be like, holy crap, now it's 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. And I'm like, it's so much harder to get back to where you were if you were in a decent place beforehand. So I'm just kind of grateful for this one practice that I'm doing food-wise right now, but I can totally understand emotional eating right now. Believe me.
Well, and can I share something with you guys? I'm emotional eating. I'm aware of it. And there's a part of me that just doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not like me. I practice self-care. It's like there's things I do that are very much a part of my daily regimen. You guys know with my skin disease, I'm always, eating whole foods and eating healthy. But there's a part of me that just completely lacks motivation right now to care.
Mm. Yeah.
But Kim, what are you emotionally eating? Like, that's a blanket statement. Are you like, is it like housing a whole bag of like those eggs, like chocolate eggs that you get at the store? Or are you like, what are you like beating yourself up about in terms of emotionally eating?
That's the thing. I'm really not beating myself up about it. So I guess that's good. I'm just very aware. Like, I feel like it's the only thing that's giving me comfort, because my schedule too has been, rerouted, and I'm working from home, which I'm just grateful I even have a job. But it does feel like, when I used to go to the office, I had a very regimented, well, anyway, I'm not even answering your question. No, I am not eating chocolate eggs. I am eating, but I am having like a little bit of like salt and vinegar potato chips with a sandwich with cheese, things that like aren't, I'm not saying they're the most unhealthy things in the world, but for someone with me, with my psoriasis journey, I normally don't eat those things at all. I normally never even have dairy in the house. I don't eat anything from a bag, like potato chips and things like that. If I do, they're a healthy brand, like bean chips or something a little healthier. So I'm not like pigging out and having a pint of ice cream every night, but I'm just allowing myself to have these things that I just enjoy so much that I don't normally let myself enjoy. And I think it's to relieve stress. I do.
Well, Taris, as our resident nutritionist, can you kind of give us a little bit of a lay of the land of like what you're going through and maybe some insight?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm just taking it all in. I think it's beautiful that we're all aware of exactly the habits that we're making and breaking. But I mean, what I'm doing is I'm trying my hardest to still practice, getting at least 8 to 12 servings of vegetables a day, which, as everybody knows that I work with, is extremely difficult. And I'm actually turning a little bit more raw. Trying to eat as raw as possible. And I've taken a lot of the animal meat out of my diet, and I'm just really eating like maybe animal meats maybe twice a week, just because it makes me feel better. But I am snacking, but I'm allowing myself to snack because it makes me feel good, because I'm bored. Honestly, like I'm always running around everywhere, and right now I'm bored. So sitting on a computer for 5 hours a day is kind of sort of annoying, and not having that break. So my break is running to the refrigerator and getting something to eat.
So interesting how our new lives are like unfolding all of these things that, thank God we're having these conversations to bring that awareness, but it is amazing the transformation in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah. I'm also finding that I'm up a little bit later. So, the evening and the nighttime is the toughest in terms of the cravings for sweets, especially for me. And I find that, I think that I'm done with my snacking for the night, maybe 8, maybe 9 o'clock at night, because I'm going to go to bed maybe at 11 or beyond. But last night I sat down in my living room at 11 p.m. I was done. My teeth were brushed, all set to go to bed any minute now. And my son comes in with this big tub of cookies, and, and I looked at them for a while, and I contemplated, and I had two, and I dipped in, and I had two, and I'm like, damn. But, I try to balance it out. I have a ton of veggies all throughout the day. And that makes me feel somewhat balanced. I'm getting my nutrients, I'm getting my fiber, and that feels really good. So I'm okay with it for now.
Well, and it's interesting you say that, because I think that's why there's a part of me that kind of is just like, whatever, I'm going to just do what makes me feel good right now. But I also know deep down that I know what to do when I get back on track. Like, I know exactly what I need to do to clear my skin. I know exactly what I need to do to like keep my weight down. So it's like, okay, I'm going to get to that once I feel better. And like one of you mentioned earlier, the whole beating yourself up thing, I think the key is learning how not to do that. I mean, how do you guys not beat yourself up when you either emotionally eat or just, I don't know, have one of those, obsessive moments? Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, I probably shouldn't be answering this question because I don't emotionally eat, but I've always watched my dad, like whenever he would always say like, oh, well, I'm up a few pounds or something. So there's a difference between being up a few pounds and then just completely letting yourself go, which is so easy to do because we're going to be this way for a while. So it's really just kind of like noticing it and not beating yourself up and then just reining it back in and just kind of keeping yourself within a limit where you don't let yourself go too crazy.
But for some people that I personally work with that have gone so far, I mean, you lose like a good solid 50, 60 pounds, and then you're in a situation like this and you put 20 pounds back on when you still have to lose a 40 pounds, you can't help yourself but to beat yourself up.
Right.
Taris, how do you work with people? Like, how do you help them in that way?
So my big thing is mindset, right? You have to be ready. And in order to be ready, whatever that feels like to you to be ready, whether it's writing down a list, like a lot of people I noticed, you have to write it on paper. You have to see it. You have to make a plan, right? Once you have that plan and you are comfortable with that plan and you're like, yeah, let's go, you're set.
But you have to be there, like you said, being ready.
You have to be there. Yeah. Like, I mean, you and I and Lee, like if we're emotionally eating, right, and we know it and we're aware of it and we're okay with it because we know we could change it, we're fine, right? That's kind of sort of a plan in our head.
Yeah.
But if we don't know that and we don't know why we're emotionally eating and we don't know like what our triggers are, we need to get a handle of that. Because then you're just going to beat yourself up and then you're going to go downhill and then you're going to continuously see that and it's not even about the weight. It's just about maybe even taking away other habits. Like I'm eating all this and I'm not running. I'm eating all this and I'm not working out. I'm eating all this and I'm not practicing mindfulness or being spiritual. You have to see what connects with the overeating.
Judy, do you want to share? Oh, sorry.
No.
I was just going to ask Judy if she wanted to share, because I know Judy in one of our last episodes, you had mentioned that you weren't eating sugar during this time. And I just was wondering how you're feeling.
I mean, I lost 10 pounds. So I have little hermit tendencies and I really like my alone time. And the way that I get my alone time now is walking. So I ended up now I'm trying to beat myself with my walking pattern. Like my average was about 4 miles last month and now it's over 5 miles a day this month. And the other day was so beautiful outside, I accidentally walked 7, almost 8 miles. So, and I was on the phone catching up with people. So I do things while I walk. I also am only eating 2 meals a day. And I think that the term for that is intermittent fasting. So my personal policy is not to eat after dark at all. So within the confines of that, to have my first meal around noontime. I'm getting rather hungry right now just talking about food. And I don't eat any bread. I haven't eaten bread in years. I haven't eaten pasta in years. My body just does not respond to it well. And what I've just kind of figured out about myself is that it's not worth it for me. When something makes me feel bad, even looking at it, you're like, that looks like it would be good, but I don't have it in my house. So it's not tempting me. And then I know that it's not going to make me feel good. So I just don't go there.
And
Judy's going to be bikini ready for summer.
Oh yeah.
If we're allowed to go to the beaches.
So true.
Ready on the beach stop.
Taris, why don't you go ahead and share what you were about to share, and then we'll all go around and we'll just give our viewers one little tip.
Yeah, I was just going to say what was really important, what Judy just said, is what I try to always tell everybody is let yourself feel what feels good and what feels bad. I think that that's the most important thing when we're eating. What makes you feel good? What makes you feel bad? If it makes you feel bad, it's your choice to not put it into your body. Don't do it.
You mean in the long term? You mean in the long term? Because what makes most of us feel good is eating all the crap, all the shit, you know? Ooh, excuse me.
Excuse yourself.
But long term, yeah.
Well, no, I mean like an immediate reaction. Like, you know, when your gut starts to hurt because you just ate something, that's a clear indicator that you probably shouldn't put it in your body.
Right.
Or ate too much of something.
Yeah, I mean, I know if I drink coffee, right? If I drink coffee, my running is totally off because my body is so inflamed.
Yeah.
Well, this is a really great time to why don't we just wrap this up by giving the viewers one tip each regarding food that is helpful in some way. I'll start since I'm talking right now. My tip, a way that I just go around, you know, having the chips or the this or the that, is like I have one rule that I follow all the time, and that's to make sure that there's a vegetable with every single meal. So whether that's some spinach in my omelet in the morning, or whether that's some cucumbers on the plate with my sandwich, you know, at night, it's anything but one veggie with every meal. So that way you know you're getting your nutrients.
Right. My tip would be to drink a lot of water. Hydrate yourself. Start in the morning. One of the first things that I do is as soon as I get up, literally the first thing I do is I go to the kitchen, I fill up a tall glass of water, and sometimes I put apple cider vinegar in there for its health benefits, although I hate it. I hate apple cider vinegar. But drink water. Drink a whole glass before a meal. Drink it throughout the day, obviously. You know, we now all have access to a bathroom since we can't leave our homes. And I also think that helps, obviously, to fill up our stomach a little bit and suppresses a little bit of our appetite.
I was just going to say, it's really, for me, it's more of about a perspective thing. Like when I think about emotional eating and stress and all of that, not that everybody's stress isn't stressful to them, but I've been paying so much attention to, you know, people on the front lines, the healthcare workers who are just so stressed out. And I just look at my life and I look around and I'm like, I'm so happy to have this food that I'm eating right now. And we all need to keep ourselves healthy so that people aren't in the hospital, so that the healthcare workers aren't overwhelmed. And like, that's our part. We have to keep ourselves healthy in every way we can, including food.
Okay, so Terrace was talking about vegetables. Kim, you mentioned vegetables. I feel like one of the things that people are struggling with is going to the grocery store so that you have fresh fruits and vegetables. And this isn't necessarily a workaround, just something that I've been doing for a long time. The first time I ever like really changed up my diet, I started making smoothies with super green food, which is a powder supplement that gives you like so many of the nutrients that you get from actually eating raw vegetables. And I mean, it helped me like glow from the inside out when I first started using it, because it was like giving my body all of the things that I needed for the first time. I highly, highly recommend that.
Cool.
I
You do
love
glow,
that.
by the way.
I love that, Juge, and that's what I was going to say. So now I'm going to pick something else. So my thought is always, no matter what it is, think of a staple. With it, whether it's 3 important foods, vegetables to eat a day, make sure you're getting them. So either you're picking 3 vegetables, you're doing a committed green powder every single day, or like I just ordered wheatgrass shots. I ordered 100 ounces of wheatgrass shots. So they're little itty bitty cups. And now every morning I'll do my powders. I'll have my set solid vegetables, which is 1 carrot a day, 1 red pepper a day, and 1 head of romaine lettuce a day. And then I have now my wheatgrass shot.
Wow.
Taris, you are superhuman.
Listen, I still have my dark covered chocolate almonds every night. So, and they're really.
So the point of this.
I just want to say one more thing, and that is, don't be, the whole thing that you guys are saying is try not to beat yourself up. I think that's also a really important tip.
Yeah, I think as long as we're getting our nutrients in some way, shape, or form, then we're good. Well, we hope that this conversation has helped you in some way during this time. If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and be sure to let us know if you have any topic requests or questions by commenting below. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Stay safe.